What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our SEC football channel. We have to do this for this game. It's LSU versus Alabama. We're going to look at 5 reasons why each team could win this game, and I like to do this for the bigger games, the games that I really could see going either way. So you look back at like Auburn, LSU. I never really thought Auburn had a great shot in that game. That's why I didn't do a video in that game. But this is one that I could definitely see going either way. We're going to start with LSU, and we start with number 5. It's the red zone. The red zone could be a big key in this game, and LSU excels both on offense and on defense. They are number one in the country in scoring in the red zone at .977%. That means they're getting points pretty much every time they get into the red zone. They're also a top 25 team in red zone defense. So both ways, LSU has been really, really good this year. If they can capitalize in the red zone, not just with points, but with touchdowns, I think that's going to be a huge, huge factor in this game. I think both teams are going to have opportunities to score. I think both teams will be able to move the ball up and down the field fairly easily, but I think the defenses will really be able to clamp down in the red zone, and that's going to be a key to this game. We know Alabama has struggles in the kicking game historically, so that could be a key. If LSU can just get points in the red zone, maybe that'll be the difference. That's number 5. The number 5 reason why LSU could win this game. Number 4 is that they're battle tested. You compare the schedules for LSU and for Alabama, and I know a lot of these players, most of the players that are playing significant minutes, they've been through tough games in previous years, but you're just talking about this year, this group, and what they've been through. LSU went on the road and beat Texas. They've already been on the road in a hostile environment and won a big game. They beat Florida. They beat Auburn. They played 2 really good defenses there. I think Auburn's defense is really better than Alabama's. Now, Alabama's probably the best offense that they have faced, but they did face a Texas offense that is very explosive. So I think LSU battle-tested in this game. They will be prepared. I don't see them getting blown out like they did last year. I just think this team is too good, and with the changes to the offense, and we'll get to that in a second, I think this is going to be a competitive game no matter what. Let's go to number 3 now. Our number 3 reason why LSU could win this game, it's the balance. You talk about the balance for LSU. If you look at the past, LSU has always had a great run game, a very solid run game. They play good defense, but they have been a little bit limited when it comes to throwing the football. That obviously is not the case this year. This team averages 377 yards through the air and 158 yards on the ground, so they're getting it done in both areas. You look at the running game with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and they've got some young guys behind him. They've got balance there. And you look at all the receivers that have been good for the team. Justin Jefferson, 55 catches. Jamar Chase, 43 catches. Terrace Marshall, 22 catches. Thaddeus Moss, 21 catches. I mean, they've got balance all across the field with the receivers. They got multiple guys in the backfield. They can throw it, they can run it, and that is something that gives Alabama trouble. When you look at teams that have beat Alabama, it's teams that have been balanced and been able to both run the football and throw the football. LSU needs to stay balanced in this game. Number 2, this is kind of an obvious reason. It's an injured Tua, and this could actually make a huge difference in this game. If he plays and is not 100%, or if he does not play, I'll tell you right now, I do not expect Alabama to win this game if Tua does not play. If Mac Jones is their starting quarterback, I do not think, sure, he looked great in the last game, but I do not think he is ready for a big stage like this. Hasn't really played in any big games like this. So I think that they have to have Tua to win this game. And if he's not 100%, that's going to be big for LSU. If they're able to get after him, hit him a few times, we'll see what happens. Last year against Georgia, Tua was not 100%. He really struggled. In the playoffs against Clemson, they say maybe he still wasn't 100%. And it's hard to imagine him being 100%. So that could be a major, major factor in this game. Watch for that Tua Tagovailoa's injury to be maybe the difference in this game. Our number 1 reason, though, why LSU will win, it's Joe Burrow. How good has he been this year? He's maybe the front runner for the Heisman Trophy right now. He's thrown, his completion percentage is 78.8%. I mean, that's just unreal. And it's not like they've played a bunch of cupcakes. They've played really good teams. He's only thrown 4 interceptions, 30 touchdowns, thrown for almost 3,000 yards. But I think what actually might be the difference, the big deal here, is his legs. He's not really a dual threat guy that runs it a lot, but he can run it when he needs to. And again, we talk about the balance giving Alabama's defense trouble. Dual threat quarterbacks obviously have been a major thorn in this Alabama defense's side. And I think Joe Burrow can make some plays with his legs in this game, keep some third downs alive, and ultimately that might be the difference. That may be what gives LSU the win. But he is a totally different quarterback in this offense than he was last year. I'm expecting LSU to be able to score points with Alabama in this one, and I think he is the #1 reason why the Tigers might come away with a win over Alabama. Now let's shift gears here. We'll give you 5 reasons why Alabama could beat LSU in this matchup. Number 5 is home field. Home field advantage, obviously a huge deal when you talk about college football. Alabama has one of the loudest stadiums in the country, and they will be fired up for this game, no doubt about it. So that is, I think, a big deal. And a lot of people say, well, look, LSU, last time they won was actually in Tuscaloosa, and they actually maybe played better in Tuscaloosa. Well, that may be true, but it's still an advantage. It's still an advantage just because LSU maybe has had more success in Bryant-Denny than they have at home lately. It's still an advantage, and I think that it could be a difference in this game. We've seen some of the big SEC games already this season where offensive lines have struggled on the road. We'll see what LSU's offensive line can do in this game. I don't think it's a huge deal, though. That's why I have it at number 5. I mean, you look at LSU and what they've already been through. Like I said, they've been battle-tested. They've played on the road at Texas. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal in this game, but it is definitely an advantage for Alabama. Number 4, turnovers. Turnovers could absolutely make the difference in this game. Alabama is #1 in the country. #1 in the country in forcing turnovers. They have, or in turnover margin, I should say. They're #1 in turnover margin. They have forced 18 turnovers already this season. They take care of the football themselves. And if they can win the turnover margin, let's say by 2, let's say it's 3-1 or 2-0, Alabama probably wins this game. So that is, again, a major factor to it. You know, he's got to take care of the football if he's in there. They can't fumble. I don't expect them to really turn the ball over, but maybe they can force a turnover or 2 from LSU. And you know, in college football, a turnover can completely change a game, and especially playing at home, it can get everyone fired up. So the turnovers could be a big factor, and I think Alabama has the advantage in that area. Number 3, the offensive line for the Crimson Tide. They've been very solid this season. Of course, in the run game, they've opened up huge holes all year long. Najee Harris averages 5.9 yards per carry. And you got other backs there for Alabama that can step in as well. So that's, I think, a big strength for this team. But it's not really the run game where I'm focusing here. It's more in the pass game. Alabama's offensive line has only been giving up 1.13 sacks per game. And it's going to be a big factor in this game because they have got to keep Tua upright. If he gets hit, if he gets injured, it's going to be a rough day. And we've seen that's when Tua struggles, is when he faces pressure, just like most quarterbacks. But when he has a clean pocket, he's pretty much unstoppable at the quarterback position. And I think that offensive line could be a big factor in that. And if they are able to keep him up, keep him healthy, they'll have a really good shot to win this game. Our number 2 reason why Alabama will win this game, it's the weapons around Tua. If Tua is not 100%, he doesn't have to do a whole lot. And if you watch this Alabama offense, I mean, they'll throw a quick slant route to Jerry Jeudy, and he takes it 60 yards for a touchdown. And you just get the ball to all these weapons, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, one of the most electric players in the country, Henry Ruggs, one of the fastest players in the country. I mean, they've got so many weapons at receiver. You've got Najee Harris to hand the ball off to. So I don't think Tua has to do too much in this game for Alabama to win. He just has to get the ball to these playmakers, and because they have so much talent around him, even though he's not 100% and he may not be able to scramble for a big third down conversion or something like that, you know, I think they've got enough around him. And even if Mac Jones winds up playing in this game, it's kind of the same deal. You got weapons, just get the ball to these guys. You saw that last week when he played for Alabama, or 2 weeks ago. But the number 1 reason why Alabama will win this game, it's Nick Saban. How many times have we seen him get his teams up for games like this when he's had a lot of time to prepare, and they had 2 weeks to prepare. And when people are starting to doubt Alabama comes out number 3 in the playoff rankings. That gives him some motivation. And when Alabama's defense comes out super motivated with a good game plan, we've seen this go back a couple of years ago against Clemson. They can, for one game, they can be the best defense in the country, no doubt about it. And if they're able to do this, and if they're able to maybe take some things from the Auburn's defense's game plan against LSU, I think they could really cause some problems for this LSU offense with their defense. He could get this team up, and again, we have just seen so many times when he's had a lot of time to prepare, this Alabama team usually wins, and this could be the case again in this game. I'm not going to give you a prediction here in this video. I'll do a preview of this game and give you my prediction, and we'll compare some other things as well. LSU, Alabama, 5 reasons why each team could win. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports SEC Football Channel.